So then we move on to step 2, which is understanding your triggers. And that is where we look inside ourselves and we ask our questions about why this behavior bothers us so much. And sometimes it just seems obvious, right? Like they should just put their shoes on and like, of course I should be upset about that. But actually we have lots of different reasons why that bothers us. Some of us are stressed about being late. Some of us are stressed because we feel disrespected. Some of us it's bringing up a lot of big emotions in us.
Right.
And we don't know how to deal with that. So we're kind of blaming the kid. So what we want they say kids can push all your buttons, right? I think it was like, I'm going to snip that connection. So they press the buttons, but no longer is that attached to your emotions. No longer is anything happening when they do that thing.
I love that thought.
Yeah. So that's where that regulation comes in, where now I have worked on this, my thoughts about this behavior, how I think about this behavior, how I understand this behavior, my perspective on it. And so I'm no longer triggered into fight or flight over it. My body's no longer signaling this as an emergency. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, they're on the floor and they're throwing some stuff. And I totally know why. And it doesn't have to be a problem. And I can stay regulated.
Great. So what's the next step?
Yeah. So step 3 is now we're going to understand or like identify the cause of the behavior. So this is like, why are they doing it? So every behavior is a way a child is trying to communicate with us. It's always communication. It's never on purpose, right? But the same behavior could be communicating different things. Like you could have 2 kids doing the exact same meltdown next to each other and be doing it for totally different reasons. So this is where a lot of the general parenting strategies can fall flat, because you might be searching how to stop my kid from hitting, and Google gives you a beautiful list, but the kids hit for different reasons. And so we don't want to respond to what they're doing. We want to respond to why they're doing it, what need that behavior is meeting, because otherwise we're like weed whacking. We're just like whacking at the weeds, and of course they keep coming back. We want to get to the root of the issue, because there's a skill or motivation or something that's missing, and that's why they're engaging in that behavior. If we can teach them more appropriate ways to meet that need, they don't even need that behavior anymore. And so that's that next step, is just why are they doing it? And then the 4th step is now we're going to work on, now that we know the why, we're going to work on teaching them more appropriate behaviors, right? Like if you are melting down because you're overwhelmed with homework, all right, I'm going to teach you how to recognize when you're overwhelmed and ask for help or ask for a break. We're going to practice that all day long, right? I would much rather you say, hey, I need a break, than melt on the floor and throw your pencil, right? So that's progress. And yeah, I will give you that break and then we'll come back. And so we're always like moving step by step, more and more towards independence and sustained focus. But where we start is you're just not throwing your pencil anymore. And that's a win. You're saying, I need a break right now. Great. So we're really looking at like, what can we change in the environment? What skills can we be teaching them so they don't need to do that behavior as much anymore or as intense anymore? And then the very last step. Oh, sorry. Were you going to say something?
No.
Okay.
I'm excited to hear the next step.
Okay. The last step is like how to respond when the challenging behavior happens again in a way that keeps the connection with them and is not accidentally reinforcing that behavior so that it keeps happening. And so that's like always what people want, like, what do I do when my kid isn't listening? Or what do I do when my kid smacks me, right? They want to know what to do after. And it's very intentional that is the last step of 5, because we have to do the other things first. And when you do the other things first, the last step is much easier to follow through on. It's much more clear. You have a lot more confidence in staying consistent with that. And you're not so triggered, so it's much easier to actually do it versus just going into fight or flight.